Hi, and welcome to What's for Dinner Tonight, the video series where we're talking about how to figure out what to make so that you're not stressed out at dinner time. I am Elisa Giorgio. I founded mealplanningblueprints.com, where I teach moms how to have a hassle-free dinner time by simplifying the family meal plan. So real quick, this series is not going to be long. I know that you're busy. I want to give you some quick, actionable ideas to help you at dinner time. So a little bit of background about me. I have been meal planning for years. I've been teaching moms how to meal plan for years, and I started out by throwing some freezer meal workshops in my tiny little kitchen when I was a working single mom of one teenage boy, or almost teenage boy. As you can imagine, life is crazy, whether you're working, stay at home, one kid, five kids, it all gets a little bit crazy. So if you don't have a plan for dinner, then life gets even crazier, right? So I found myself often going to my backup plan, which was ordering takeout. And we had probably, pizza and Chinese food more times than I could count. I was probably spending a mortgage payment on takeout every month. And finally I said, enough is enough. We weren't eating healthy. I was still stressed out at dinner time, and I was stressed out even more because we were spending all that money. So I basically learned how to do freezer meals, and that's where it all started and has snowballed since then. And am now teaching all of the things that I've learned over the past, goodness, probably close to 10 years to all of you. So why you need some kind of plan. First, it doesn't have to be a perfect executed, we're having this on this night and this on this night type of plan, but you need some kind of plan, right? A little bit of planning saves you a lot of stress. And the first reason it does that is because we have decision fatigue, right? I mean, we make a bazillion decisions as moms, as workers, as people, whatever, all day long. The last thing we want to do is figure out what to make at dinner time, especially if we don't like to cook or just don't know how to throw something together, right? So decision fatigue is a big deal, and it really does happen. I mean, that's why Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day, because he didn't want to waste any of his brain time deciding on something trivial like what to wear that day. So he had almost a uniform, and I'm kind of liking that idea. I'm thinking yoga pants and a t-shirt is going to be my uniform for stay-at-home, work-at-home mom life. Anyway, so the decision fatigue can really get you. So you want to sit down when you're at a good time, where you have the time and where you're mentally prepared to quickly go through and say, we're going to have this or this or this or this or whatever the case is. And two, what a little bit of planning does, it helps prevent those last minute saves. Like mine was ordering takeout, and maybe yours is too. Sometimes it's making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or my personal favorite, cheese and crackers and a yogurt, and then throw some fruit in there and maybe a baby carrot to feel better about yourself for what you're feeding your kids. Or you grab something that's, prepared food from the freezer, which isn't always the healthiest option, but it's there and it's food, right? So meal planning can help you with all of that. And I firmly believe that meal planning will also help you with saving money, saving time throughout the day, not just on meals, but just your time you're elsewhere, because you don't have to worry about your meals. And it will let you eat healthier and give you that time that your brain needs to make decisions on the more important things. So that's a little bit about why I think you need to have some kind of plan. And if you hate meal planning, you're in the right place, because if you hate meal planning, the solution is not to avoid it altogether. The solution is to do it less. So meal plan less, which is what I'm going to try and show you over the next 3 videos. So this first one, we are learning how to narrow down our options, narrow them down. And then the next video is going to be how do we come up with new ideas. So I know that seems counterintuitive, but I promise it's not. If you're tired of making the same thing every night or every week, and your family's complaining that you always eat the same things and there's no variety, then I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to finding some new ideas. And then the third and final video will be how to make that all come together and the one thing that you need to make it all easier. So let's get into it. Like I said, I promised I was going to make this quick. The first tip that I have for you today is how to narrow down your options. And if you've been here with me before, or you've read anything of mine, or even if not, then I love theme nights. And I'm going to take this a step further. So theme nights are basically Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, Slow Cooker Saturday, things like that. So you assign a type of food to every night of the week, okay? It could even be leftovers nights. I always say don't ever forget leftovers nights. Those are priceless. When you combine theme nights with a how, so those were the what you're making. You're making a vegetarian meal, or you're making a Mexican meal, or you're making spaghetti on Sunday, whatever the case is. When you combine that with how you're making it, then you really start to narrow down those options. So what do I mean by how? I mean your cooking method. So slow cooker, sheet pan, one pot, grill, things like that are going to not only help you when you're searching for something, but also we're going to figure out which of those works best on what nights for you. So I want you to think about your routine, not your actual calendar schedule, but your weekly routine. If you do the same things on certain nights, like for instance, right now in this season, we have church every Wednesday night. So we eat dinner, rush out the door. I don't have time for dishes. And then we get home kind of late because it's family night at church and I want to go right into bedtime. And then Thursday nights, right at dinner time right now, we have baseball practice, t-ball practice. It's adorable, but it's a whole nother story. So those nights I need something really quick and not a whole ton of cleanup again. I mean, I also hate to do dishes, so I try to avoid cleanup at all costs. But so you want to think about your routine. What are the nights that you are home late, or you have to rush out the door and you're not going to be home until even later? What are the nights that not everybody's home and maybe you have older kids and there's practices and jobs and all of that stuff, so people are kind of picking at meals throughout the evening. Think about those things and assign a type of cooking to each of those nights. So now say you've got Meatless Monday and Taco Tuesday, and Monday is your night for practice. Then you've got, okay, so let's do a one-pot meal on Monday nights so that you don't have a lot of cleanup because you're rushing out the door. So now you've got one-pot vegetarian meatless meals on Mondays. So you see how we're narrowing down the options. So when you go to look for ideas, you need them to fit those smaller constraints. It will help you find new ideas, first of all, but it will also help you take your current ideas and the current meals that you make and fit them into these boxes, which will be helpful for you when you're planning. And then say Taco Tuesday is going to be slow cooker night because you rush out the door and you don't have any time for cleanup at all. Or that's the night that people are coming and picking whatever they want. If it's sitting in the slow cooker, they can kind of pick and choose when they eat it. So now you've got slow cooker Taco Tuesday. So I hope this is starting to make sense. So I want you to look at your routines and see what makes sense on what days, and then also know, like, you can duplicate it. You can have slow cookers on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you need to do that. So that's your homework for right now, is just to determine what nights you are doing what cooking method. And then you could do, even just take it a step further and do the theme nights if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You could do Taco Tuesday, Meatless Monday, things like that. So hopefully that helps you, and I will see you in the next video where we're talking about how to choose some new ideas, get some new ideas, how to find some variety for your meal plan. Okay? See you in the next video.